Hey everybody, Kai-Zer here. It's been quite a while since my last update. Uh, I don't really know how it's gone. This last month's gone so fast. I basically blinked twice, and it's been super long. I actually had story of my channel. I had filmed a sort of mid-month update following the reinstallment of my internet, because unfortunately, due to the financial strain that sort of prompted my getting a second job, I had been disconnected, as well as my mom was added onto my account, and she used a lot of gigabytes, more than her allotted share, which I was surprised at since she had 150 to start. But so they added a bunch of buckets onto her account, which racked up a bit of money, but that's all dealt with. I basically, yeah, that's basically sort of the beginning of what I'd said in the last one. And then the most prominent thing in my life right now is probably my work. I probably look a little bit like shit right now simply because I'm dead tired. Emphasis on the dead. It's been a long month. It'll be officially a month since I started at my second job as of Thursday. Uh, yeah, Thursday. Yes, Thursday. Um, and it's been a little bit more than I thought I was going to be given, and it's been a bit of a challenge. I've learned a lot. I have met an amazing coworker and a few really great people, kind of a couple that I could do without that drive me nuts, but that's what you get in every workplace, right? I uh, I started out thinking that I was going to be working 3 nights a week, around Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So these would be overnight shifts. So I'd work from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. And my bus starts running out of the city, like out of the suburban the suburban area that I work in, and comes out to my house, which like at 4:50, which would allow me about 3 hours of sleep between when I got home and walked my dog, and when I had to get up and go to my day job. So it's not particularly that ideal of a time frame, but it is, or what I thought would be manageable. Considering my Saturday, Sunday shifts, I could sleep pretty much. Like I don't work during the weekend for my day job, so I could sleep during the day. When I got home on Sunday mornings, I could sleep in. I could basically catch up on the sleep I wasn't getting and be ready and bright-eyed, bushy-tailed for Sunday night. And then so the only night that I would sort of suffer through where I didn't really have time to fully get a full 8 hours of sleep prior to my shift was Monday night slash Tuesday morning, Tuesday during the day. And that's what I thought I'd be working. That's what I agreed to. That's what I originally started being scheduled. That was fine. Everything was good. And then and I'm pretty sure it's my own fault. I think I set a bad precedence with my boss. I got well, not really a phone call. I got asked from my boss if I'd take Thursdays for 1 or 2 weeks while they looked for somebody to work the extra shifts. And I said, okay, sure, that's okay, I can do that. Not really knowing, like I figured it'd be a 10 to 4 shift like he has me scheduled on now. Or they had me scheduled on my other shifts. And then I get a phone call on my day off, my very first day off from that job, and he asked me if I could work Wednesdays. So I was desperate, and I'm still desperate for money. So I said, yeah, sure, no problem. That sounds fine. So I ended up agreeing to work from 10 to 5, which is not really a nice shift because any time I get home later means I get less sleep, which means I'm more exhausted during the day and it takes more to recharge, so I might not be fully recharged for the next night. And so basically, instead of having Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night off and recharging fully for the weekend, I agreed to work during the week. And I found out that my Thursday shift was actually an 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. shift. Even though my boss knows I work at 9:30 at my other job. What? I don't know. I was surprised, and it didn't really click in my brain, and I couldn't really wrap my head around why I would be scheduled for this. But since I'm new, I felt obligated to do it. The first week, I didn't end up having to work that shift because I got to work and I started work and I'd been there for only about 25 minutes. And the person I was actually replacing showed up. And he was like, "Oh, I'll go home." And I'm like, "Nope, you call me. You call the boss, because if anyone's going home, it's going to be me because I'm exhausted. You didn't work at all this week. Let him decide who goes home." And so I got sent home with the promise of an hour's pay, and it was awesome. I got to sleep, and I haven't had that except this last week, where it was only supposed to be for 2 weeks that I took these extra 2 shifts, and then when I got my next schedule, I was scheduled for the same shifts, exact same shifts. And so I did the shift. I was so freaking exhausted, I could barely function on the Friday. And then this last Thursday, I had to call in sick. There was no way I could go. My arthritis has been acting up so badly that I have actually I've been reduced to using a cane. And on one day, it was so bad that just having the cane was not enough support. I had to use a crutch. I've had to bring crutches to work and leave them at my office because I sometimes can't get out of my chair. And I haven't had the time to go to my physiotherapist simply because I'm working so many hours now. I can't get the proper scheduled appointment. And so I've basically been in agony. I've been declining rapidly over the last 2 weeks to the point where I've actually taken my cane to my second job and I've used it openly around people, and they're just looking at me going, "Well, why do you have a cane? What's wrong? What did you do?" Like, well, I have arthritis, and the extra hours that I wasn't anticipating are really affecting my arthritis. And I'm in pain, and sometimes this is the only way I can walk. Granted, I do my entire shift without a cane. I hobble around the store cleaning and filling and organizing and cleaning again. But it's been rough. It's been a long, rough shift. I don't know. The paycheck was pretty decent. I mean, for the first month in forever, I paid my TELUS bill, my hydro bill, my phone bill, and my rent all before the end of the month, instead of kind of paying part of my bills and then paying the rest on the middle of the next month. So I paid them all off. and I had enough to get a one zone bus pass on the Compass card, and I actually had some cash, so it was nice. I don't have much money left over, but I actually have money just sitting there chilling out to my name, and I didn't have to go to my mom for money, which has been really nice. It's the very first month or end of month I didn't even have to blink. I didn't have to think about whether or not I was gonna have enough money for my bills, because I did. I had that. It was sitting in my bank as of the Friday morning. It was amazing, and I spent all of the money right away doing all my bills, making sure every single thing was covered and dealt with, so that nothing went sideways and I didn't lose money and somehow and then was short and had to ask for money, because that happens a lot, because I lose track of how much I've spent, and so then I end up going into the money that is set aside for rent or bills or stuff like that. So at the end I'm just like, I don't have enough, help. But it just felt so liberating to finish the month and know that the money that I was handing out to everybody for my bills was entirely mine, and I hadn't been borrowed from a loan company, which I unfortunately have had to do twice, or my mom, which I've had to do so many times it's sad and I don't like it, even though I do pay her back absolutely every single time I've ever borrowed money from her. I pay it back immediately as soon as I can. Or even my aunt. I think I mentioned that I actually sold my camera and a few other electronics to her. In fact, I didn't just sell my camera to her. I sold my camera, I sold my camera lens, I sold my two Nintendo game consoles, so my 3DS and my DS, and I sold her my PS Vita to help me pay for my rent. I've managed to been able to manage to buy back my Vita, not my Vita, my 3DS and my DS through working labor for her. And I plan on working, if not the rest of it off, then as much of it off this weekend as I can. But yeah, it was so nice. And the only stress that I had at the end of the month was my mom, basically, because my mom is seeing my paycheck as, hey, Morgan has money. I can demand money from her because she owes me money. And when she says owes her money, she means for everything that she's done that's been a gift or been something nice that she's done, because I've gotten caught with my family when they've decided to go for food and I don't have the money for it. She's like, oh, I've got this, I got you, you're covered. And then apparently now it's all, she's deciding she's gonna cash in on this. I don't know. My mother and my relationship's always been extremely weird, and when money's involved it gets really negative and bad. And so yeah, that was my main stress, is me figuring out a way to tell her no, that I wasn't going to be paying her $50. First of all, I couldn't afford to pay her $50 when she wanted it, and then she wanted another $150 for the end of the month. It's like, no, I don't have that. I can't afford that. You aren't getting my money. Considering I had, after everything I had, $65 left. Where the fuck was I gonna get $150 to give her, pulling it out of my ass? So I was really glad that I didn't end up dealing with that. But yeah, I don't think this is a sustainable. This isn't a sustainable schedule. I can't keep doing this. I've already told them I can't, and that they need to find somebody to take the weekday shifts, and I'm getting pushback for it. And they're giving me the whole, well, we don't have anybody, and I'm biting my tongue every time that they say this to keep myself from saying, I don't give a shit. Not my fault you haven't fucking hired somebody. I did you a favor and you're taking advantage of the fact that I did you a favor for 2 weeks and now you're just expecting me to keep up that pace. No, fuck off. So I managed not to say that and managed to keep that to myself, but it is getting to that point where I just really want to say fuck off. I probably will be doing more Let's Plays. I have every intention of starting to do Let's Plays as of tomorrow. I'm going to be alternating between Amnesia, trying to finish that off, doing Amnesia, Papers, Please, YouTuber's Life. I filmed my very first episode of Outlast yesterday. That game is freaky. I had so much fun. So yeah, that's going to be coming sometime this week, as is more of Tube Tycoon and game developers. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that, and I will talk to you guys next time. Kai-Zer out.